My name is Nina Diamond, and I've been a journalist for the last 20 years. And I've been writing about the arts and the media, and natural health and metaphysics. Yeah, the book is called Purify Your Body, and it's about the idea of balance and detoxing your body for natural health. It's not at all about what most people think about when they hear the word detox. It's not about, oh, let's clean out the colon, let's do something really drastic and sit in the bathroom for 3 days. It's about detoxing from everything that happens in life, including natural and chemical toxins that might be in our environment or our food, or that we run into in day-to-day living, and how to counteract all of that. It's not focusing on just the elimination portion of the body, which is what some people mistakenly think detoxing is about. You have to combine the two in some instances, because it's not about extremes. It's not about, well, all conventional medicine is good or bad, or all natural is good or bad. It's about making them all work together. Certainly, you wouldn't ever want to have one without the other. We need a lot of the wonderful advances we've had in complementary medicine, but we don't want to exclude the natural medicine. One of the most important things that acupuncture and acupressure do for any kind of physical or emotional situation is it restores the body to its natural balance, because it's altering the flow of energy in your body. And if it's blocked, if it's sluggish, if it's at all out of line, it sets the basis for disease. And so if you can clear everything out and get your natural energy flowing properly, which is the Chinese theory, then that will keep your system in balance, and that sets the stage then for you to be healthy, rather than for your body to be working on creating all kinds of diseases and disorders. So part of having your body running in its optimal way and being balanced and having all your systems clear is the fact that we are always bringing things into the body, therefore we have to be taking things out. We inhale, we exhale. We inhale the oxygen, we exhale the carbon dioxide. So just exhaling is a way of detoxing the body, if you think of it in that way. We bring in all kinds of things into the body. Now, how, after we've used them for their nutrients and for all of the things they do for us, how then do we get rid of the leftovers, the waste? Well, we get rid of that by exhaling. We get rid of it through perspiration. We get rid of it when it processes out through the body. We also get rid of it by going to the bathroom. But the focus of everything in the body is balance. When you do something like acupuncture and acupressure, you're freeing up the body to achieve its optimal balance. That's another system of balance. Almost every culture that has a health system is the same. They may give them different names. They may have a different set of herbs or different practices they use, but all of them use essentially the same blueprint, which is that the body is this self-healing system, that if we get out of its way and let it do its job, or help it along if it gets impaired, that it has a blueprint already programmed in the body for balance. So Ayurveda works on its own set of principles, different from Chinese medicine, but what it has in common is the basics, that we have a life force running through the body. In Chinese medicine, they call it qi, for life energy. In Ayurveda, they call it prana, which is the same thing, although it's referring to what they call the breath of life, but it's again the same thing, the life energy. And Ayurvedic medicine is set up much like Chinese medicine to be a blueprint for balance in your body. Ayurveda is particularly concerned with detoxing your body, and their methods of detox are seasonal. They feel that with each change of season, it's a good time for kind of out with the old, in with the new. So anything that has not been let out of the body over these last 3 months, anything that might be stored up that really shouldn't be in there, now's a good time. It's like spring cleaning your closets. Treating your body that way too. Now's a good time, 4 times a year as the seasons change, to do a detox, to catch anything that hasn't left. And their detox methods do tend to focus more on the intestinal and the digestive, but it's in some, to the Western mind, can sound kind of drastic, but if you're brought up within that medical system, to you it's just the norm. Well, body work is an excellent way to detox because it stimulates all of your body's systems, and detox is simply freeing up your body to perform its natural function. It's not about overloading your system. It's not about making you go to the bathroom all day long. It's about your body being in the right kind of balance so that it naturally will absorb what it needs to, use what it needs to, and then efficiently and in a timely manner discard all of its toxic waste. If it doesn't do that, that sets the stage for disease. Even things like arthritis, that's really a toxic buildup in the joints. We can be building up fluid that really should be not sitting in one place in our bodies, that should be moving and that should be having its toxins filtered out, and then eventually leaving our bodies in just the normal way. When we go to the bathroom, if you were to sit there with a microscope and say, well, what's in here? Okay, it sounds disgusting, but think about it. What's in here? Well, what's in there is all the toxins that maybe yesterday were in food or in the air you breathed, or microscopic toxins that came from your lymph system that were, that could have been anywhere. Body work stimulates the whole body, keeps everything moving. If things are going to be clogged in your lymph system, your lymph glands and your lymph fluid, it keeps them moving so that nothing stays stagnant. It's like, think of a pool of water. You want it to constantly flow with the fresh coming in and everything moving. If it doesn't, what does it look like? It's this stagnant, disgusting pool of water where bad stuff can grow. Your body's the same way. One of the values of body work also is that it has a very positive emotional impact on people. And it's freeing up not just physical things from your body, but emotional release. And anything that we store emotionally tends to turn into a physical impairment. So if you can release emotionally the things in your body that you're hanging on to, you will have a positive influence on your physical health too. There's no way to separate the emotional, the spiritual, the physical. It's all interrelated. Mainstream medicine in the last number of years is really beginning to catch on to that step by step. First, it was very clear to them, well, ulcers, that's a result of stress. Well, that's a mind-body connection. Then they discovered with biofeedback we could use our mind to control bodily processes. Absolutely everything that happens in your body has an emotional component. It can lower your resistance to disease. It can impair your immune system if you're dealing with emotional stress. So there really is no way to separate it out. Well, herbs can be really quite valuable because they help support your body's systems. One of the most important herbs for detoxing is actually dandelion root. And what it does is helps repair and restore the health of the cells in your liver as well as the rest of your body. But it's especially valuable for your liver. The liver is a filter. It's like if you think of a fish tank in your home and you see what the gunk that ends up in that filter of your fish tank, well, your liver is doing the same thing for your body as that fish tank filter is doing for your fish and for the water. Now, you clean your filter of your fish tank, but we're running around with filters in our bodies for years that we can't take out and rinse out in the sink. So what can we do? We can take various herbs that are very beneficial, that are non-toxic, that when used in the proper way are completely safe. And what they do is help clean out our body's filters, primarily the liver. Dandelion root is excellent for that. And because our liver filters out everything that's happening in our bodies, that's the primary organ we want to be concerned with when it comes to toxic buildup. And the dandelion root tea or pills will help support your liver, help detox it, and therefore is detoxing your whole body. Well, all of the native cultures rely very heavily on what's in their immediate environment. And so they make use of the herbs from their part of the world seasonally. And that tends to mimic the seasonal processes of the body. Obviously, when you think about we're placed on this planet, we must have been placed here with what we need to survive. So not only is there food that we're going to grow, or dinner you can go out and hunt and kill, but our medicines have to be right here in our own backyard. So over the thousands of years, the cultures have evolved a system of classifying all of these, but the information was passed on always from generation to generation. So-and-so was sick. Everybody in the tribe knew that the bark of this tree would take the pain away. If in your particular climate, if it was tropical and you were prone, therefore, to things having to do with heat, well, the things that grew in your climate, like aloe, where does it grow? It grows only in tropical climates. Who tends to get sunburned? Is that going to happen in Alaska? Not likely. Where does it happen? Gee, coincidentally, right where the aloe is growing to treat the sunburn. So the native culture's medicine was formed around the available treatments right there in their environment. We have a lot to learn from them because now that we're so global in our ability to interact with each other, we're not just restricted to what's in our own backyard. All of the native cultures made a lot of use out of herbs, and the Native American herbal treatments that we hear about are primarily, the Western herbs that we hear about here are being used quite extensively in all areas of health. When you think about it, detox is really the cornerstone of anything having to do with your health, even just having a cold. What do people think about when they have a cold? Well, they think, I want to get all this stuff out of me. I'm going to blow my nose, and I'm going to cough, and I'm going to get the phlegm out of my lungs. And, what if we didn't do that? You would just literally drown in all of this. These byproducts that our body makes to carry away the toxic things are what we need constantly to be moving and getting out of our systems. And there are a lot of wonderful herbal treatments, again, that have to be used with care, because even though it's herbal doesn't mean you can just gobble down tons of it. It has to be treated with a lot of respect and care that will help to keep you healthy. Well, our foods were our first medicines. Our herbs are our foods. And in ancient tradition, all food was considered was considered medicinal. It wasn't just what you ate because you were hungry. So there are many foods. People make salad out of dandelion, and then they might take the root, make a tea out of it, and that helps cleanse them internally and detox them. So there are a number of foods that that we can use as a part of our healthy detoxing ongoing daily plan. And again, this is not about doing something drastic. You wouldn't want to do anything drastic because you dump a lot of toxins into your bloodstream, you become toxic, and then you really, it can be fatal, you know. So depending on what you're dealing with, of course, if someone has had high-level toxic exposure from heavy metals or something, the goal is to detox safely, gradually, because you don't want to release the toxins from tissues into the blood in large quantities like that, or you become this walking toxic waste dump, and it could be fatal. So the idea is to detox from something that's drastic like that quite slowly. If we do things on a daily basis to constantly keep in balance and to constantly detox, gently, not about blowing your colon out. I mean, that will just destroy your system. You don't want to do that sort of thing. Ideally, you shouldn't even notice you're detoxing. On a daily basis, we're not aware of our bodily processes, usually unless there's something going wrong. And then you can feel yourself digesting something. Normally you don't. But 24 hours a day, all day long, our body is detoxing. It does it. We don't have to tell it to do that. The idea is there are things we can do to help it along, because we're putting a lot of wear and tear on our bodies. So there are certain things we can do to help it to detox. Again, still, you don't want to feel your body doing all these things. Usually the first time there's something wrong is if you feel things you ordinarily wouldn't feel. You don't want to feel your stomach doing its job. You know, detox is something that should be natural and gentle. There are, in my book, a couple of things I list called the all-purpose antidotes. And these are things that you can use to counteract all kinds of stressful situations. When we talked about body work, that's one of them. The dandelion root is another. Making sure you drink 8 glasses of pure water every day. That's extremely important because that's helping to dilute the toxins in your body and flush them out normally, naturally, gently. Something as simple as water. Also, making sure you have adequate fiber in your diet. You don't want to go overboard. You don't want to, again, be blasting your colon out. You don't want to have diarrhea. That is not a good thing to do. But you want to have adequate fiber so that when your food has been digested and the nutrients have been absorbed, your body can get rid of its waste in a timely way. You don't want everything sitting in there for 3 days. You want it to get out there on a daily basis. High fiber in your diet will move all of that waste through your body gently, naturally, efficiently. You don't want to jar the system. A lot of people like the idea of juicing and fasting. If it's done very briefly, very gently, periodically, once in a while, once a month, have a day, if you're in good health, and don't do this without a doctor's supervision, unless you're sure that you're in absolutely perfect health. If you have a day where you just drink some light juices and a lot of bottled water, and it kind of just cleanses the system, gives your body a break for the day of having stuff brought into it, allows it to continue to take out maybe some leftovers that are in there. But you don't want to do that too often, and you don't, like you said, you don't want to be pigging out for weeks at a time and then say, okay, I think I'll blast out my system now. No, that's not something you want to do. A lot of people are tempted to do things like that because they think it's a quick fix. They think, oh, well, I'll just go for a month. I have no responsibilities. I don't have to think. I'm in their hands. People get lazy with their health care. They really do, because they would rather someone do it for them, and they would rather someone hand them a plan, and they would rather say, well, what's the easiest thing in the world to do? Nothing. That translates to, I don't have to make any food decisions. I'll just eat nothing. I'll sit here for 28 days, I'll give somebody thousands of dollars, I'll drink water, and, then I get to walk away and be this healthy person. No, it's not. You're going back to your real life after that. And you have to learn how to live your life in a healthy, balanced way, and how to eat foods that are good for you. What you can do to counteract, we're not perfect. There are things you can do to counteract the stuff that goes on in daily life, the stresses. In your daily life, you have to think of it in terms of antidotes. We can't be perfect. Some of us smoke, some of us have wine with dinner, some of us like to have some rich desserts once in a while. The idea is to do healthy things to balance that out. If you enjoy having wine with dinner, then keep in mind that you have to pay special attention to your liver, which is being asked to do more than its usual job because it has to now detox this alcohol. So pay particular attention to the things that will help your liver, like the dandelion root, and like other things that I mentioned in the book. They're very gentle things, and they're all very normal. And they are things that help your liver do its job. If you do any kind of fasting program, if you do anything drastic, keep in mind you have to go back to your real life afterwards. The worst thing you can do for your body is to be a yo-yo, is to be out there pigging out, and then once a year for a month decide, okay, well now I'll go get cleaned out. This is too jarring to the system. It's a prescription for disaster. It's, again, also releasing toxins into your body all at once like a flood. It's going to make you sick. People think it sounds so tempting because it's attached to doctors and health spas, and oh, it must be safe. It's not. There's a lot of things that unfortunately, people are looking to make a lot of money from treatments that we're being told, do this. It's quick, it's easy, it's trendy. It's also very dangerous. Vitamins are, if you have a vitamin deficiency, yes, you should be on vitamins to make sure that you compensate for that. Do you want to take mega doses of anything? No, not unless you're deficient or you're treating some kind of an illness that the vitamins will help your body fight. That's the only time you want to go wild with vitamins. If you just on a regular basis OD yourself on vitamins, again, you're setting up a prescription for disaster. So when you think about taking vitamins, don't do that on your own before you've consulted with someone who is very well educated in the area of nutritional medicine and vitamin supplements, which may not be your conventional doctor. They don't receive that much training about that in medical school. So what you really want to think about doing is going to a naturopathic physician, someone who is very well schooled in nutrition, and work in conjunction with your doctor and someone from the natural health field. Determine, do I have any deficiencies first, and then compensate for those. Also determine, do I have any disorders or lifestyle factors that put me at risk, where I might want to add more vitamin E, for example, or more vitamin C. Anyone who's a smoker should be taking at least 2,000 units a day of vitamin C. Even every mainstream physician will tell you that now, because smoking depletes the vitamin C. Vitamin C is a wonderful preventative. It will keep you, during cold and flu season, will reduce your risk of getting a cold. That's a very good thing we should all be doing. Other vitamins, however, can be toxic. Vitamin A can kill you. It's lethal to your liver. It can make you extremely ill. It doesn't take too long for you to be on it before it gets toxic. You can't take mega doses of something like vitamin A. So you have to be very, very careful. More research is being done now in vibrational medicine than ever has been before, as we're exploring these areas of the energy flow, not only within our bodies, but how it interacts with energy sources from outside of our bodies, whether that be sound waves, whether that be, electricity itself, the electrical current, anything that produces energy interacts with us. Even our own body's ability to produce energy. We're an electrical system ourselves. I mean, there's electrical impulses going on in our bodies all the time, firing off things in our brains. We are electrical. We are an energy system. The universe is an energy system. It's only natural we're going to be affected by the energy that's out there. So vibrational medicine is nothing more than the study of areas of healing using things that vibrate. So anything that produces energy obviously vibrates. We talk about energy waves. We're talking about vibrational medicine. Vibrational medicine has the ability, the various areas of it, to alter the body significantly and to jumpstart its healing processes fairly quickly and very efficiently. In fact, acupuncture is considered an area of vibrational medicine because it alters the vibrational flow of energy within your body. It's dealing with no external energy source, but only with keeping your own body's internal energy flowing properly, like a river, without anything damming it up or blocking it up or rerouting anything. External kinds of vibrational medicine would include homeopathic remedies. That's considered vibrational because they use a very minute amount of a substance, diluted to such a point that you can hardly believe it's even still there. You know, one gazillionth of a something in a drop and then in water, and but somehow the vibrational essence of this substance is still able to interact with our body's systems and produce a healing effect. That's vibrational medicine. In the 60s, we used to say we liked somebody's vibes or we didn't like their vibes. We knew what we were talking about when we used that terminology. We are affected by the vibration of everything, including another person. Somebody with, quote, good vibes, good energy, that can very powerfully affect our mood, our health, our total well-being. And bad energy affects us as well. So yes, even body work, which alters our own body's energy system, as well as having the energy of the person doing the body work. Using sound for healing, the vibrational sounds are going to interact with our body's energy, also induces healing very quickly. And light, color therapy, also does that. We all know more about how our cars work than we know how our bodies work. In order to take care of your car, we don't think it at all unusual to understand its engine, its carburetor, its this, its that, all of its systems. We think it's common sense that we would want to know how the car works, so that when it makes a noise, we can say, oh, it must be the such and such, so that we can deal with the maintenance on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis on our car, or our computers, or any other machine that we have to rely on in our lives. Well, our bodies are the same thing. If you don't know how your body works, how can you possibly understand it or know how to take care of it? We probably know more about how our cats' or dogs' bodies work than our own. And we kind of take for granted that all we have to do is feed it, and we have to make it sleep, and go to the bathroom, and that's all we need to worry about with our bodies. And obviously that's not true. If you understand how the systems work, you then can know the proper way to take care of your body, what to do and not do that might stress it, what the warning signals are if you've got a problem with something, so that you can catch whatever it is early, how to prevent it. If you know, for example, about how your respiration really does work, how your digestion works, how it works when you just move an arm, if you understand all that, won't it be easier to keep yourself healthy? Sure. So in my book, I include a whole grand tour of the body, which is kind of fun, actually. It's only revelation to me because, and maybe to other people too, who never stop to think about, well, gee, exactly where is my gallbladder? I mean, this actually can be kind of fun. You know, we don't often stop to think about the whole really neat process or processes that are going on simultaneously, and it's a miracle when you think about it, how our bodies work. And it's on automatic pilot pretty much all the time. And while your body is telling you to breathe, it's also enabling you to walk, and it's also your liver is doing things and your spleen. It's all going on simultaneously. So from an ooh, wow, neat point of view, when you start to learn where is everything, how it's all integrated into the systems, it's actually kind of fun. I mean, this isn't boring, dull stuff. It can actually be kind of fun. You know, when you take your kids to Disney World, and you really get into, oh, how did they make all these gizmos work? Think of your body that way. We're very fascinated by how our electronics work. Our bodies are just as fascinating, probably more so because we're carrying it around every day. Think about it this way. You wouldn't dream of planning to have all your teeth removed. I mean, we think about our teeth and we say, oh, I want to make sure that I brush them every day, and I'm going to go to the dentist a couple times a year, and if something happens to my tooth, I want to make sure I get it filled or whatever, because I don't want to have all those teeth pulled out. We tend to think of our body as having disposable parts. Oh, well, if it breaks, I'll fix it, or we'll sew it up, or we'll remove it, whatever. That's not the way you want to think about your body. There's so many things we can do to prevent illness and disorder and disease and malfunction. You want to do that. You kind of want to go out with all the parts you came in with. And there are very, very, very simple things you can do to prevent pretty much any disease. Most degenerative disease is caused by toxic buildup in your body in one way or another. It's a system breakdown. A lot of that triggered by your emotional state. If you understand how your bodies work, if you understand the link between your emotions and your health, you can prevent it. And wouldn't that be better than feeling sick and having to take medicine and having to have things removed? If you knew how simple it was to prevent this mess in the first place, you'd be amazed. You're setting up a pretty big toxic waste reaction when you're addicted to anything. To detox from any kind of an addiction is a dangerous process in and of itself, because as you begin to detox, you are releasing very rapidly and in large quantity a lot of toxins into your bloodstream. Anytime you're going to detox from an addiction, you have to do it under medical supervision with people who are expert at this. That's not something you ever want to try alone. And you want to also be doing it with a physician who is as well versed in natural medicine as they are conventional, because there are herbs and there are vitamins and there are wonderful, very healing and life-supporting natural products and processes that you can use to enable you to detox even safer. There are certain herbs, certain nutrients, for example, that if you take them while you're in a detoxing process from heavy metals, for example, you've had toxic exposure to something, they bind to the toxin to safely help carry it away out of your body, for example. And so you want to be working with someone who is very, very well versed in the naturopathic medicine side of detox as well. They gum up your whole system, just the way any kind of physical ailment breaks your system down, so does emotional stress. Emotional stress triggers a physical response each and every time. And that helps to just further clog up your whole body's workings. When you have any kind of a reaction emotionally, you have a corresponding physiological reaction. The worst way to damage your immune system is stress. Your immune system isn't working, your body can't defend itself. against anything. Buildup of toxins, common cold, cancer, you name it. So it's all interrelated. Yeah, that's the ultimate in toxic activity. Again, the first step is prevention. No matter what they tell you about, oh, it's safe, do not move into a place near a toxic waste dump. Don't believe what these so-called experts tell you. People are trying to downplay toxic exposure these days for legal reasons. They don't want to be sued. People aren't ready to admit, for example, that high power lines might possibly cause cancer. Well, because the minute they do, they know that everyone's going to sue the power companies. They don't want to admit that toxic leakage from various chemicals that may be in a dump in your neighborhood. They don't want to admit that might harm you because they're opening themselves up for lawsuits. Prevention is the most important thing when you're dealing with the environment. And it can be difficult if you're living in an area where you have a lot of smog, obviously. So you need to use as many antidotes as you can. If you can't prevent toxic exposure, you want to have your home tested for radon levels. You want to do as much as you can to keep the toxins away from you and your environment. But the ones that we normally run into on a daily basis, some we're not even aware are there, they're going to slip into our lives. So if you can keep yourself as strong and healthy as possible, keep your immune system, keep the body in a state where it has its best fighting chance to counteract those external toxins. You also want to keep your body free of the toxins it creates itself on a daily basis as a byproduct of just its normal daily processes. So if you can keep everything flowing properly through your body, then it will be able to handle the external toxins, process them, get them out. There are an awful lot of things you can do also to counteract the effect of external toxins, and I cover that in the book. Things like the kind of things you might run into in your daily life if you work around industrial chemicals, that you might run into in your hobbies if you like to paint, that you run into in your home if you're using chemicals to clean with. We run into toxins every single day. We want to minimize our exposure, but certainly we also need to understand how to create antidotes for those things as well. Some of the antidotes for this include the basic ones that apply across the board to strengthen your body's defenses and to prepare it to process things in a timely way. Drinking lots of water, eating high-fiber foods, having the vitamin and mineral support that your body needs, taking things like the dandelion root, things that can help detox your liver. And your liver is the one that's bearing the burden of processing the toxins, more so than any other organ in your body. So you want to cut back on the things that make your liver work harder already, things like alcohol. There are different really nice, relaxing things you can do, different baths you can take that will help detox you, and when we say detox you, again, this is not, oh, I'll take a bath and then I'm going to run to the bathroom and go to the bath. This is not what this is about. This is detoxing your body, removing the toxins, helping to speed along the detox process within your body, and you will go to the bathroom on a normal schedule. It won't look any different or feel any different than any other time. The sign that your body is working properly and detoxing properly is not that you're spending your life in the bathroom. It's that you're regular, that you're going a couple of times a day, and that you're eliminating from your body by all methods, whether that's by perspiration or your breath or going to the bathroom, whatever, that all of these are happening in an efficient way and in a regular way. Some very good detox antidotes, rather, that you can use after you've done a lot of exercise. One of the reasons that your muscles ache is that it's a toxic reaction. You have a toxic buildup in your muscles of lactic acid. There are certain baths you can take that will help disperse those toxins. And exposure to any kind of internal or external toxins, that can be dealt with as an antidote too, through aromatherapy, through herbs, through different baths. Some of the Japanese and Chinese methods include rice wine, believe it or not, placed into a bath instead of having bubbles, and you soak in a bath like that. That helps get the toxins out. Baking soda, things like that. Things that you can put in little bath recipes that things that will help draw the toxins out of your body. It's as simple as that. There's so many different recipes because oxygen kills bad stuff. It's technical word stuff. And whether it's a toxin or a bacteria or whatever, cannot survive in an environment with oxygen. So in the book I also give fun bath recipes for things that will help diffuse the toxins. Aromatherapy is fascinating. In fact, we forget sometimes that the things we find in nature have been always our original medicines, as well as our original cleaning products. There's a reason why when you go out to get furniture spray, it's got lemon in it, because lemon is a natural antibacterial, and there's a reason why your cleansers have lemon in them. It's a natural substance that kills germs. That there are so many organic substances out there that can be classified as foods, as herbs, as fragrances, that have been used for centuries to kill bacteria, to kill fungus. And these are things that also obviously help detox you. Part of being detoxed is kill the bad stuff. Also, the effects that different aromas have on your emotions are very beneficial. There are a lot of them that are very relaxing, a lot of them that trigger a lot of healing in the body, and using those will help your body then be able to go through its natural processes without the emotional stress, which just clogs up your systems. Anything you can do to counteract stress is important. You need downtime. Your body needs to be in a state that allows its healing processes to be triggered. The reason you feel so good when you're sitting in front of a fireplace and you're staring at the fire, the reason you feel so good when you're standing out at the beach and just inhaling all that great sea air and staring at the water, the reason you feel so good is that your mind is technically in the alpha state, which means that your brain waves are slower. When that happens, and that happens in meditation, and that happens anytime you're focused on something, and so that your brain is actually relaxing, staring out at the water, staring at a fire. Even if you're driving and you hear about people that get highway hypnosis from staring out at the double yellow line on the street, what that does is it relaxes a part of your brain. That is meditating. Meditation is just relaxation. The reason people talk about meditation being so valuable is that your brain wave patterns are going into the alpha state. When that happens, your body's healing mechanisms are triggered.